Okay, hold on. Share screen. It's going to move fast, but I'll post it so you can watch it as slowly as you want. Uh,
In this, yes.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Let's see if the
Okay,
sound comes
full
through.
screen. Yeah.
Okay. You could hear the sound, I take it.
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
was
gosh.
hilarious.
That, that is so good.
Oh,
But yeah, the witch face. I'll turn off the sound, but that witch face.
oh, so that is about a third of what I actually have.
I've seen
Hey,
that.
Dad, just seen that mini tramp with that mat. Just man, the memories. Just wow. That's like a trigger memory there.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. And you were just like you jump on the tramp and we would take a shot and you just pound it away like it would go in the third row of the seats. So much stronger than us. Like, oh man.
Yeah, this is gold.
Yeah. So sadly, I don't mean to put a damper on this, but Rich Hosley has passed away.
Hmm.
He got cancer. His like Jay's. We're going to talk to Jay at some point. Um,
Yeah, we
but
need to get him on the list.
yeah, yeah. But Rich passed away. He had cancer. I don't know what it was, but his life. He's a guy, Doug. I don't know how well you remember him, but Camp meant a lot to him. But then he really kind of took yeah, a tough path. And I remember writing him a letter. I don't know if he ever got it, but I'd like to think that we'll reconnect with Rich. Yeah, in heaven and look at that video and laugh too. So,
Yeah. 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 Well,
but
some of us take, it's just sometimes things go sideways for,
yeah, right.
sometimes you drink more than that one beer.
Mm, mhm. That's another thing, right? Yeah.
All right. Let's I'm gonna buzz through the rest of this page. There's a couple others on the next page I want to get to. Life motto is very Nike. Ed Shoot, Don, you have them lined up, right?
He's come and talk with Doug, and I feel privileged that some way somehow I have found myself to be a conduit with this, and but I will again take it a step further that
And Doug, have you reconnected or not?
No, it's funny. When the whole Facebook thing came back out, or came out like in 2009 or 2010, I forget when it happened. I looked for all the camp people I knew, and I found some, and didn't. And like Ed, I could never find Ed, and I just, But then Facebook took its turn where everybody started getting off of Facebook, and then I just never was able to find Ed.
well,
So
I couldn't find you, I couldn't find him, and then Ed just recently found Facebook. Thank reconnect. So
yeah, we spent a lot of pre and postseason time together.
yeah, I love that picture you sent of you were in
Well,
the military
Yeah.
with.
I'm wondering, Don, if then we interview Ed and then bring them both together and have a joint call. That'd be a lot of fun.
I already talked to him about that. I
Yeah,
think.
that would be fun.
Yeah, I think
All right.
that's going to happen. Yeah.
I'm thinking the same. All right, good. And then you've lived all over the place. That's a military response, is that right?
Some of the military, but actually, I lived a lot more places because of my civilian life, my corporate job. It
Okay.
just took me to all as I said in my notes, all the big cities. I've lived in Dallas, Atlanta, Chicago, outside New York. I've just because that's where all the big corporations are,
Sure.
and so I've just spent time all over the place. But as I noted, I don't know if you guys read into the details, but when I lived in Dallas, it was in the 1990s. And
Don's
so the
not happy
Bills are in the
about
Super Bowl and the Sabres are in the Stanley Cup, and I'm in Dallas.
that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Doug.
Yeah,
All right, I had to squeeze font in here because some of these were pretty good. But your favorite camp,
I
land,
love going to the point, especially
I
in
am with you there.
the off season. What the preseason, mainly the postseason because it was fall and it was autumn,
Yeah,
and everyone was gone. Literally everyone. I think, like I told Don, I was like in the postseason, and just be able to walk down to the point and just sit there and enjoy the
yeah.
lake.
Hold that thought.
Yep.
Hold that thought. We'll get it. We'll unpack that a little further. But the point, honestly, if it's not the point, I question, someone who has a better spot at camp. That's just the best. But okay, I can understand maybe something happened or some great memory somewhere else. But the point,
Yeah, real quick, I'll interject. When I went back finally in 2023 for what I thought might be the only 4 hour period I go back, I was hoping that it would lead to more, and it has, but I didn't know at the time. And I was going to do the 4 o'clock forum, and they provided someone to take me around in a golf cart, which I would never have requested, or I was happy to walk, but given the time that I had to get back to the 4 o'clock forum and Jimmy and Beth wanted to play miniature golf, which I was happy to do, we had like 45 minutes and are like, is there any place that you want to go to? Yeah. And I'm like, the point. I didn't hesitate. And I
and
got there, and Tom, I sent you a video.
second video is great. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I'll bring that up at some point. But yeah, that's me too.
Okay. And then I think our pictures might be cutting some of this off, but I think right now in 32 words, you described your life today, retired, similar activities to when you were doing Woodlands maintenance without the pool.
Yeah, I'm up here in the mountains of Maine, western mountains of Maine, and I got a couple acres here, and I'm just because I'm retired. My day-to-day life is just taking care of things around the property and between landscaping and building things and painting things. It's been really enjoyable, and but like I said, there's no pool here, which is a separate story about the pool at Woodlands.
Uh-huh. I want to hear more about that. Right. Yeah.
And but it's enjoyable here. But and as I realized when I sent you the initial document, Don, I kind of had a knee-jerk reaction to fill in these answers versus now I've had time to think about them. But
Yeah.
But I actually do a lot of traveling also. So I got my property here, but then I travel a lot and see a lot of things and go exploring. So I'm not just sitting here in the mountains, you know. So I am out and
He's
about.
saying, Don, he wishes he had his other 18 words
Yeah.
for questions.
Hey, yeah, we're flexible there. But is your retirement through the government, through the
just my 28 years working for the same company. So
okay, same, yeah. But there was a government element to it. You said like communications that they.
oh yeah. So so 1982 was my last full season at camp. But it seems like, and I forget their names exactly, but there were some older guys who were doing Marine Corps or some type of military summer type stuff,
Mhm.
and it really put an impression on me because I didn't know where I was going with life. And so I joined the Air Force in for 1983, and I was there for 10 years. But they put me through telecommunications school, and I flew on airplanes for a couple of years, doing the telecom on the airplanes and stuff. And then when I got out, it's kind of like my timing was just kind of perfect.
Hmm.
This is when the cell phone industry just started taking off.
Yeah.
So I was able to take my skill set and move into the wireless world. And
Right.
I was with the same company for 28 years while that industry just boomed.
Unbelievable. Cell phones, are those things still around?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I did the whole aspects of it. Cell phone's only one part of it. I was on the network side where we built all the networks to make the cell phone work. So,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that was, it's interesting because through that, I actually got to travel around the world. And a lot of people don't realize, like these third world countries, they didn't even have phone lines. So
Yeah.
they went straight to the cell phone. Like,
Yeah.
why dig trenches and put in lines when I can just build a tower and run a cell phone? So that was kind of what we did in third world countries. So,
So, quick question. Do you have cell coverage where you are in Maine?
absolutely we don't.
That's ironic, isn't it?
The irony. That's ironic, don't you think?
But the place where I am, I've been coming here for 30 years on vacation. And then I finally moved here when I retired. But the beauty of it was when I was on vacation, no one could reach me. So that was the beauty of
I
it.
agree.
So,
We're going to talk a little more about that. We're going to come back to question number 8 as well, because I'm going to have you read something in a minute.
okay.
And what gives you purpose in life? I love what you had to say. It's succinct, and I think it captures quite a bit. And number 10, I think we're unpacking what that means. But I really want to make sure we get to a couple things that I've got here for you. You're familiar with Storytime with Tom. Obviously, this will be Storytime with Doug. Okay.
Right.
And this is just straight out of something that you sent to Don in the 10 minutes I had to prep.
Right.
Are you able to read this for us? It's 2
Yep.
pages. Because I think this is talking about question number 8, where you were pondering life's decisions. This is more the event, but I'd really love to hear the thought process that was going on while you were doing this.
Yeah. So let me give you a little background to this. Is that 1982, I graduated from high school, and all my peer group, most of them, probably 99% of them, were all going off to Houghton College, which is very common, or Wheaton College or Taylor University. The core stuff that everyone at camp would go to, and I just part of it was that I didn't have the means to do that, and then part of it was I was kind of feeling getting drawn in a different direction, but I wasn't sure. And and again, what I call postseason means that everyone's gone. It's just me, and there was another female there who worked in the office. And I think her name was Kathy. I can't remember, but like I was over in the salt box, and she was either there or in the next building. I can't remember. But anyways, it was just one of these autumn days, late autumn, kind of like where we are now, because I stayed at camp a long time. I think I stayed at camp until I finally got kicked out. But I just I was all bundled up. It was a chilly day. It was the lake was like glass, and I just I'll read it to you, but that's kind of like the background. So one of my favorite memories of postseason was going down to the point when there was literally nobody around. It was a cold autumn day. I was all bundled up, and the lake was like glass on a very cloudy day. There was one boat left in the water. It was a little 14-footer with an outboard motor on the back that you had to steer with your hand on it while sitting all the way in the back of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the ones that we rented, right? This is the rowboat with the motor sitting on the back, correct?
I was never a boat guy, so I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, Don, those are the ones that we rented all summer. They probably just left one
so they were still hanging around. Yeah.
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 Okay.
So
Yeah.
So I just hopped into that boat, started the engine, and cruised the lake all by myself. It was like the whole town was empty as well as camp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where everybody was that day, but I do remember that day on the lake. Was I supposed to be taking a camp boat out on a pleasure cruise? Probably not, but man, it was fun.
Yeah.
So, I love that. Because I can Don told you I also worked post season. I think it was basically from August through December while I was figuring my life out, to be honest. And
right.
I feel like we had a very similar experience. You were doing the same, just
Right.
and wasn't it just the best place for processing your thoughts? Because
Right.
no one's there interrupting you, right?
Right. 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 And what I do remember, I remember the exact date. It was November 13th, 1982.
Wow.
Those are dates you never forget. That's the day I'd already left camp, but I was in the recruiter's office taking the oath because I made my decision. I was going into the military. So that had to be probably just like maybe 1 or 2 weeks right after this event happened. So
Wow. To reconcile, this solitary experience with, making that commitment to, the military is a commitment that
Yeah. What was the
you take it on. Yeah, that's
what was the conflict in your mind? Should I do this or not? Because of the commitment part of it, or the risk of working in military potentially, or
now, okay, so as most kids, like I was 18, enjoyed the heck out of working at Camp of the Woods. Loved working at Camp of the Woods. And
yeah,
I could have just stayed there. I'm sure I could have just kept going on that cycle and
yeah,
maybe land a full-time year-round position where I didn't have to go away for the winter.
sure.
Um, but then I was processing in my mind. I'm like, that would be cool, but how am I advancing myself? How am I advancing my education? How do I advance things from that point?
Yeah.
And and as I allude to in my notes, I joined the military. I was in there 10 years full time, and I got out of there with a college degree.
Yeah.
So it met its purpose for me, which was to get educated. So
yeah.
yeah.
That's a
But
great
this is
story.
what this day was about. Was like, what do I do next with my life? So
It's amazing. It's so
Yeah.
amazing to me. We've talked about this, Don. At 18 years old, you're deciding your life, right? That's so much pressure at a weird time of life when you're not. I mean, I'm not sure what you were like with your parents at that point, Doug, but like you're kind of still under your parents' watch, but you're on the verge of being on your own and you're making decisions like you made that affect the path of the rest of your life at 18.
right.
Well, consider the path that he chose in the military and communications.
Yeah.
Tom, we are talking to the original analog kid.
Are you a Rush fan, Doug?
Well,
Don't worry if you're not, but
Yeah.
this.
no, no. I liked Rush, but I wasn't like I didn't buy the albums. Let's put it that way. Or maybe I
Okay.
did. I
Oh,
forget. Maybe I bought a cassette.
Uh,
But it's kind of funny because I'm going to change the subject slightly on you guys.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
But the movie Dirty Dancing.
Yeah,
yeah.
The initial intro with the what's it called when Jennifer Grey is doing the voiceover on the intro, and she's like, it was the summer of 1963. It was before Kennedy was shot. It was
Okay.
before the Beatles came out. You know how she does that at the beginning of the movie?
I
So
haven't seen it so long, but that
I've
sounds
forgotten that part, but you
yeah.
you brought it home pretty well right there. Yeah.
yeah, so I always think about it was the summer of 1980. It was the summer before Reagan got shot. It was before Van Halen 1984 came out.
That's so good.
So that's what I kind of think about that. So yeah, Rush was big, especially in the barracks when I was in the military. Rush was blasted.
Were they? Oh, I love it.
Oh
Oh, good to
gosh,
hear.
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I think they are more of a masculine following, right? So I could see that in the military, maybe a little more
Yeah.
male focused. That's interesting.
I still
yeah,
love my
that was
analog kid
that was
reference.
always getting blasted. Somebody,
Don,
I never had to play it or buy an album because somebody else always was.
that's fun.
Okay.
Don, that was a genius rep on the analog kid
I
reference.
thought so too.
It's
Yeah.
good. It was
Yeah.
good.
But I just um it's so interesting because the experience, this is ironic too. I feel like the experiences that the two of you had at camp in, okay, mid-November, um I didn't have despite living there because I was there all year, but there would never really have been a November day where I would have done anything that you did because, when I was there, I was in school
Right.
or I was in
You were in
college. Like,
school. You had your family stuff going on. Didn't
yeah,
your mom own like a Vega station
yeah,
wagon?
that's right. Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, Tom, there's a story you're gonna bring up. But yeah, so it never would have occurred to me during those years. Like the deepest I would have gone into camp would be working as a young person in the dish room with Doug, with Ed, with others and my
Yeah.
friends, and then going into the gym. But in my head, like the gym, there was like a flesh melting force field beyond that. Like I wouldn't have thought all the way
Down there. Yeah.
to the point and jump in a boat to do that. But you were in a different
You
place, so you.
also probably were not having existential crises either.
Well, I had different ones, but
Right.
anyway, it's fun. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Tom, could I ask you one question?
You bet.
When you were there, postseason, did you have the keys to everything like I did?
Oh, yes.
I had keys to everything.
The keys to the garage. I made a go-kart in the garage. I like totally took advantage of the parts that were available and just put them into this go-kart. I'm sure it cost camp some money and nuts and bolts.
Well, I was thinking about I forget which podcast it was, but the
the Woodlands Kitchen for sure.
Woodlands Kitchen with the butter knife trying to jimmy the door open. I'm like, all I had to do was unlock it.
I had a key. Absolutely. I got very good at making grilled cheese sandwiches at like 11 at night. Yeah.
I would have ham sandwiches out of the fridge. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, same experience here.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to run out of time, so I really want to get to this next segment, which is a new segment. And I think it's fitting that since Doug is, the one person who's watched all of our episodes, we could introduce a new segment while Doug's here, Don.
All right. Your lead.
This segment is called Bragging Rights.
Oh, yes.
So now I again, Don gave it to me just this morning, and I honestly could spend an entire day digging into what he gave me unknowingly, probably. I don't think, Don, you probably haven't been to this site yet, and I really hope this works. Tell me if this screen opens up for you guys. Are you seeing this?
It does.
Okay. Now, I know you have two daughters, right, Doug?
Yeah. This is my younger.
So when the other daughter complains that she didn't get any airtime, please throw me under the bus. It's not, it's me.
My other daughter's a little bit more shy, so that's fine.
Okay. I am blown away at this website. So I'm a backpacker, okay?
Right.
I went through her gear lists today, and I probably have 75% of what's on her list. And the other 25% I'm going to be investigating because she's a thru hiker. Her 6,400 miles in the last 3 or 4 years since 2021.
Yeah.
That is staggering. I can't wrap my head around it. Anyway, I'm going to shut up because I really would like to hear from your perspective. This has to bring you a lot of pride because this girl is something else.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's done the John Muir Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, the Continental Divide Trail. If you click on the About.
Oh, I was going to go there if you didn't. I was going to highlight this right here.
Yep, right there, growing up.
This is my favorite part of her website, just so you know.
Yeah, this is where I get a little call out. Her and my wife, that my parents fostered my love for nature and outdoors with yearly trips to the woods in Maine. We would spend all our vacations camping, kayaking, and hiking. I haven't stopped exploring since. So, it's just she's an amazing person.
I don't know that our viewership is going to make a difference because I think she said she has 100,000 people in her community. But I mean,
oh man, thanks for bringing this to 6,400 miles. Are you kidding?
Yeah, and if you're on Instagram, she's over there, and
it is impressive. This is professional. Is this what she's doing for work?
Yeah, this is how she makes her living. So you go back to the question about my life, God, country, and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Well, she's the one that went to Notre Dame and, NCAA championship team member of fencing. And she came out of Notre Dame with a hard degree in mathematics, not the, like the hard science side of mathematics. Got a corporate job, but this is her love. And she just, after 2 years, she just gave it up and said, I'm going to do what I want to do. And I get it, because like I told you about that boat ride on, at camp where I just took the boat out and I had to figure my life out. She had to do the same. And this is what she's doing now. And so, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, like I said, I'm a backpacker. My other good friend Ryan, that he's the guy who's in the video making fun of us, right? His two boys did the Appalachian Trail. I think it was in 2015, and I mean, I'm going to obviously be passing this on to them because they're in that community of thru hikers. This I just absolutely loved.
Look at that.
What she's put together here. It's ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah, I enjoyed, I forget which podcast it was, but you were up in the Wind River, the Winds.
Yes. Yeah.
And my daughter did that a summer ago, not 2024, but 2023. And she was doing the Continental Divide Trail, and she got down.
Goes through there.
Yeah, she got down to around Du Bois, if you know where Du Bois, Wyoming is.
I don't think so. Oh,
okay. Anyways,
it's close there. It's close to there.
Yeah. So, anyways, she had a problem with one of her teeth, like emergency. She had to go out and hitch a ride down to Lander, Wyoming, just to get to a dentist so they could fix it up. So, yeah, a lot of exciting times with her. So,
remember that Tom Hanks movie on the stranded on the island for 7 years?
Yeah.
Like, the worst thing that ever happened to him was the tooth he had to knock out with the rock, and he passed out.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
yeah, I appreciate you bringing this up. I wasn't expecting
this.
This
Is awesome.
This is fantastic. I've been spending so much time. I was trying to work today, but I was on her site so much time because it's just so good. I signed up for she's going to send me something to email.
Okay.
Anyway,
so is your pack only 11.5 pounds like hers?
So I think she's a little further on there, but I did buy a new backpack. I did buy a new pack this year. It's one of the brands she recommends. It's only a 2-pound pack. I think our weight for the 6-day trip this year, my weight was under 20 or 21. She's down to about 11 pounds, I think she said on her last hike. I'm assuming that's before water because that's how we measure.
Yeah.
My nickname for the team is luxury item. And I think I take a couple luxury items that probably add a couple pounds, but
toilet paper, is that a luxury item or a necessity?
I mean, there's a funny story about that. I'll tell you
another time.
but yeah.
It's funny about, I'm on the opposite scale of my daughter. She'll go on these trips with 12 pounds of gear, not counting the water. And I have a Jeep that I load up with tent, stove, you name it, it's in there. And I go off in the middle of nowhere and just set up a safari camp or something.
Wow.
So
thanks for finding that. That's wow.
Yeah,
take a look at that.
I have really enjoyed this conversation with you. It's been a blast, and I think we'll have to reconnect at some point. Maybe do a joint conversation with Ed after.
Yeah, that would be fun.
But we're gonna get cut off, and we're trying to do better about not like abruptly ending.
58 seconds. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks so much for taking the time with us. This has been really great. Love your story.
All right. Well, we only got 9 pages more to go through, Don?
Exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, Doug, I got to say for all of the feedback I've gotten or the correspondence, it's meant a ton to reconnect with people. Yours was one of the most fulfilling by far, and this conversation that we're having just took it to the next level. So, we try to do them every week, but we're flexible in terms of doing more. But aside from that, just got a lot more to talk about personally and in other ways. So,
okay.
Been awesome.
Send me an invite. I'll do it again for sure.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
All right, guys.
All right.